Just check if I'm live. Just check if I'm live. Hi Sally, you're the first. Hello Sally. Hello Rachel, good evening. Welcome. Hello Leanne, I hope you're well. I hope you're well. Good evening Sylvia, good evening lovely. I hope everybody's well. Hi Sally, welcome. Good evening Catherine, hello there. I hope you had a good evening yesterday. Hi Fiona, here I am. Wine at the ready, yay! Here I am. Hi Bev. I can't remember whether I've said hi to Rachel, but hi Rachel. Hello Emma. Good evening Jeanette. Hi Trace. Hello there. How are you? Hello Katrina. Warm welcome. Thank you for joining me. Hi Maureen. Made it on time today. Yay Catherine. Warm welcome. I love it. Hi Nanny Chris. We did Sally. Were you down in the dumps? Was that because of the Formula One? Oh, I don't really watch the Formula One, but I like your name. Is it Norris or, oh, I don't know. For once on time. Hello, Ruth. Ruth Martin and Ruth Hansford. Hello, Chris. I'm good, thank you. Yes, I'm okay, Trace, apart from being a bit tired, but apart from that, I'm absolutely fine. So if I nod off halfway through, just nudge me. Yes, we missed a joke, didn't we, Bev? Hello, Diane. Warm welcome. Thank you for joining us. Hi, Trudy. Good evening, Susan. I will get going in about 1 minute, just to give everybody time. Hello, Teresa. Hello there. And Trace says hello to everyone. Norris won, but Max won the race and our hearts. Oh, God, I like Norris. Hi, Anne. I like it when somebody different wins as well. It's just me. But then I don't watch it anyway, so I don't really know what I'm talking about. I'm ready with more. Yay, Sally. Hi, Alice. I'm going to get started in a second. And funnily enough, I'm working on craft just like Amanda did. So I'm working on craft just like Amanda did. Where are we now? I love craft card. Now this craft card is 350 GSM and you can soak it and scrunch it up and make your own sort of leather look card as well. It'll take on what you're doing. Good evening, Kim. Oh, why have I suddenly gone all funny? Oh, don't start doing this on me. Hello, Kim. Hello there. Good evening, Karen. Hi, Anne. Oh, I was loving your typos on Amanda's live. Oh, I was laughing so much because it just reminds me of me. It really does. Thanks, Diane. Oh, I love craft card. I really do. Pink Frog craft card. And I'm using an A7 acrylic block. You can use any acrylic block. Hello, Sue. As long as my phone battery lasts in the car. Oh, no. Yes, it buffered for a second. Typical. How do you catch a squirrel? Climb a tree and act like a nod. That's something I do. Hi, Marie. This is Craft Card Pink Frog, 350 GSM. You can soak it, scrunch it up and make a leather effect as well. But of course, I'm not doing that. I just thought I'd tell you. Bad weather up here in Wales, so it keeps buffering here too. Brilliant, Fiona. Just what we want. Not. So, I've sprayed my gold and I've got a jar of water, and I'm sure I pulled a paintbrush out, but maybe it's me. Good evening, Kim. Good evening. And I'm using a round brush. It's buffering in South Yorkshire. About the guy who, have you heard about the guy who invented lifesavers? They say, hello there. So I'm going to start with a piece of craft card. I've spritzed my Gansai Tambi Starry colours. So I've spritzed those. Well, I've spritzed that one gold. So as well, trying to reconnect. So I don't know whether it's the weather or what it's doing. So I'm going to take the gold, and this is called Bly. So I'm using these starry colours. First thing I see is a joke from Sally that knows that you're welcome. Welcome onto the live, Helen. Heather. Hi. Welcome, Helen. Hi, Bev. Nothing happening here in France. Oh, lucky you. So I'm going to apply this gold to my acrylic block. So I'm going to apply the gold to my acrylic block so that the colour's nice and rich just on the acrylic block. Hello, sorry, this is my first time joining you on one of these lives. I've been a bit under the weather and also been away. Warm welcome, Pauline. Sorry that you're feeling a little bit under the weather, but warm welcome. And then I'm just going to spritz this with a little bit of water, just so that it moves a little bit for me. I told my wife she should embrace her mistakes. She gave me a hug. Hello, Pauline. Helen has just said. So I'm now going to apply this to my gold. So I'm just going to press this onto my craft card, just like so. It could be the weather as you keep pausing in Buckinghamshire. Lovely. Sorry, Yvonne. I don't know why, because I have got super high speed broadband, so I don't know why. So I don't know why it keeps doing that. I'm just hoping it'll go away. Why don't eggs tell jokes? They might crack up. So as you can see, I've just added this to the craft card. And can you see how it's moving? All working now. Thank you, Rosemary. So I'm just allowing that to just settle on the card a little bit. I've done my neck in and the pain is terrible. But it has to be done with Christmas to be busy. Oh, unbelievable. This card is not bothered by it. So what I'm going to do, even though it's going to move, like so, I'm then going to take the wet brush and I'm just going to move that just around the card. So this craft card will take this moisture, no problem at all. I've heard that before. Arnica gel. Oh, you've told me that. Arnica gel. Diane's mentioned that before to me. So you've got a lovely gold, and you can see that you've still got some gold on here. So don't waste it. Just tip that onto your craft card. So affected by the gold. Hello, Sylvia. So it won't be affected. It doesn't bother it that it gets quite wet. Hello from South Gloucestershire. Hello. So you can see it's taken that moisture beautifully and it's not bothered in the slightest. Can you not go to see somebody about a little bit of physio maybe? I do that sometimes when my back plays up. What did the grape say when it got stepped on? Nothing. It just let out a little whine. Oh, I like that one. That's brilliant. So just look at that gold. It's just beautiful on the craft. But I need to give that a little dry. I like that one, Sally, that one's brilliant. The grape one. I like that. I need to remember that one. Well, the thing is, if I'm going, I've just put these back in stock because they'll be here in about 4 days. So I've just put them on pre-order, but there's no point me having things in stock if I don't use them. There's just no point. So I'm giving this a little bit of a dry now, or a good dry. Jade said she heard you. Cheeky Jade. Don't be cheeky. Although you're probably right, but we won't admit that. My head often goes ping. Let's just test how wet that is. Let's have a look at the card on the back, and nothing has gone through. So let's grab the kitchen roll because it's wet underneath there. I see a chiropractor and he can help with neck and shoulder issues. Ooh, maybe a chiropractor then. Deep freeze gel. Oh, I'm going to make a note. And you can see, look at that shimmer. Isn't that lovely? Just a lovely autocorrect. I love autocorrect, Helen. I should share some of my typos, because mine and Anne's typos are hilarious. I'm going to take this bell. Hello, Maureen. Hello there. So I'm going to take the bell from TE44. I have bursitis and you can't get rid of it. Oh, Lucy says the chiro eventually got rid of my neck problem a long time ago and no reoccurrence. Ooh, interesting. So I'm going to use the bell. Don't know where I'm going to put that. So I'm going to use the bell stamp. Hi Sarah, Sally, maybe that's something I should try. Now I'm hoping this is going to be dark enough. If not, don't worry, I'll just wipe it or start again. But I'm going to use ground espresso distress oxide, and I'm going to use the bell stamp. Oh, thank you, Sheila. What did one wall say to the other wall? I'll meet you at the corner. I don't think. So I'm going to take, what did I say this colour was? What is wrong with me? Ground espresso. I'm going to take ground espresso. And I'm just going to add ground espresso nice and richly around the edges. And then that's horrid Cheryl. Hang on, what did Cheryl say? Did I miss that? Did somebody explain what bursitis is? I've had acupuncture, but what's bursitis or whatever it was then? I'm just going to dab in the centre of here, just so I can diffuse some of that colour in the centre. Thank you, Diane. You are such a gem. You really are a gem. So I'm just going to make sure there's plenty round the edges. Hello, Kim. Hello, lovely. And I'm going to stamp this just down here with the ground espresso and hope that this shows up enough. Many problems. Inflammation in the hip joint. Ouch. Ouch. I wonder if acupuncture would help that. I like acupuncture because that's helped me with a lot of things, so I like it. Yes, that shows up beautifully. It's very painful. I had it last year in my hip. Oh, no thank you. So can you see that shows up really nicely? So what am I going to do now? Right. So I'm going to take my, shiny. My brother is trained in acupuncture. I love acupuncture because I had a problem with my Achilles tendon and I could hardly walk, and it's because I'd had foot surgery and I'd always worn heels. And then when I went to flat shoes, it gave me a problem, but the acupuncture sorted it out immediately. It was wonderful. You get rid of it. Now, who said it? Was it Maureen? She had it last year. How did you get rid of it, Maureen? So I'm just dabbing this just so that ink is dry. And then I'm just going to take my pencil And I'm just going to add a little line here. So I'm just going to add a line here, just so that it's got a little bit more dimension. Don't think it would help, Cheryl, wasn't sure. Have you still got your red boppers? Do you know, I don't know where they are, that I wore for bin diving in lockdown. I can't remember where them are, you know, Diane. Good question. So I'm just giving this a little bit more dimension now. So I'm just, and I need to tell you the pencil colour. Lots of floor exercises, yoga and ice pack on the hip. Wow. I'm writing a book about glue, but ones for me, Sally. I like these ones because I can tell them at Christmas dinner that the acupuncture didn't help migraine. That's a shame. How do you make a sausage roll? Push it. Yes, I did wear red boppers and bin dived. I did, honestly, Helen. So I'm using dark brown PC 946. And I've just created that little line there, just so that this has now got a little bit more dimension, just to come round here and just add a little bit more dimension. And you saw how Amanda coloured, so you can colour that way if you wish and go very lightly, and if you hold your fingers high up, that stops you from pressing really hard. I'm used to it now, so I know that I shouldn't press hard, so I'm not going to press hard. Thank you, Diane. I can't tell you how much of a help that is, Diane. And I'm just going to have it darker under here, just a little bit, just under there as well. Just so it's got a buffered. And when we add a little bit more dimension, Trudy, it'll start to come to life. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to use chocolate, PC 1082. And I only picked this because it said chocolate. And I'm being serious. I did only pick this because it said chocolate. So I'm just adding a light layer with the chocolate. So I'll add a little bit of a light layer with the chocolate here as well. And let's add a little bit of that dark down here as well. Oh, thank you, Lucy. This is a lovely, simple card to do because it's a bit of colouring, a bit of dimension, and a few other little bits, and it's very simple. So I'm using that chocolate, so let's come in very lightly with that chocolate. Now, if you can't stop yourself from pressing too hard or pencil. Thank you, Kim. I wanted to, again, I'm trying to give you something a little bit different, just so that you use your stamps in many different ways. Now, if you wanted to, you could alternate this and do it as a wedding card, because obviously you could stamp and perhaps do it for a wedding card. I'm then going to be using Putty Beige, which is PC 1083. So I'm going to be using 1083, and that's the light colour that will blend the other two colours. So I'm leaving a little bit of the gold in the centre. And I'm only, it's Facebook usually, but I do love chocolate. Yes, I agree, never had it so bad lately. Yes, this is the problem. You can't do anything about if we get bad weather or bad signals. One downside, unfortunately, but never mind. Good evening, Anne. Hello, lovely. So I'm just blending a little bit with the Putty Beige. Oh, I've had my shoe bun, so I'm to bedtime. I'm ready for bedtime. I'm then going to go back to my dark brown. So we're going to come in with that, it was dark brown, that dark brown 946. So I'm going to add another layer with that dark brown. And I can leave that sort of highlight there. No problem. Hi, Katinka. Hello there. So I'm just adding that dark brown. And now I'm losing myself with my colouring. No problem, Catherine. See you tomorrow. So I'm going to use the chocolate, and I'm going to take the chocolate and I'm going to go in to that dark brown with the chocolate. Very lightly. And I'll worry about this area a little bit more in a second. So I'll worry about this area in a second. Hi Anne, same here, just on the way back from doing the grandkids dinner after picking them up. Battery at 3%. Oops. Yes, it's bad here. Oh dear. So I'm going to carry on colouring. So I will carry on with my dark brown. Don't worry if you need to watch on catch up, that's absolutely fine. And then I'm going to, what did Diane say? I thought that too, Diane. What did Diane say? Well, that's already what so now I'm going to blend into the other colours with the putty beige. So I'm just going to blend into the other colours with the putty beige. So I'm just going to blend into that, just with that putty beige. Afterwards, it's no problem. What's 90 degrees but covered with ice? The North and South Poles. So I'm going to come in and just bring this line back in again, just like so. Just raided the chop from the cupboard where we all fancy a bit of chocolate, don't we? Or I do anyway. So I'm now going to come in and just add a little bit more of the dark now. Just a little bit more of the dark. No problem, Heather. No problem at all. So I'm going to come in with my chocolate and just add the chocolate. And in times of the year, because there is the problems, you know, if you get a problem with signal, etc., there is nothing you can do. So I'm just going to come in just with a little bit. I've got a chocolate Father Christmas on my mantelpiece. Shall I start eating it? Head first, Sheila. I'm then going to use my light colour, which was the Putty Beige 1083. And just blend with the Putty Beige. What did that say? What do you call a line of men waiting to get haircuts? A barbecue. Oh. So there we go. There's most of our colouring for the moment. I allow myself 2 pieces of chocolate at bedtime, 1 milk, 1 dark and a little caramel, and I eat them together. Yum, yum. Yum, yum. Every few seconds I'm hallucinating. Are you listening? Right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to add a little bit of my white pencil just to give a little bit of the highlight, and I'm going to add a little bit of white here just to add a little bit of white from my Gansai Tambi 48 colour, which is H24. So let's give this a spritz. Let's give this a spritz. And you should, as I always say, give this a little bit of time, just so it sits on there. While I just wait for this white a little bit, let's see what I've got in my trivia. I'm thinking I should do lunges to stay in shape. That would be a big step forward. Oh, let's have a look at a little bit of trivia. Invented in Germany in 1610, what was the original colour of tinsel? Invented in Germany in 1610, What was the original colour of tinsel? Thanks, Maureen. I'll try it. We'll likely all go out the window over Christmas. So a little bit of trivia. Invented in Germany in 1610, what was the original colour of tinsel? Have you read these, Diane, and cheated? Diane's right. In 1610, the original colour of tinsel was silver. The original colour was silver. I didn't know that. Now I'm just going to use the white Gansai, it was silver, which is from my 48 colour. And I'm going to add the white to this, and then I'm going to smudge it with my finger. Just smudge it a little bit with my finger. So I'm using the Gansai I can't speak, from my 48 colour. And I'm just going to add a little bit of white. And then I'm just going to, so I've just smudged that a little bit because I like it when it's smudged. So I'm just going to dry this a little bit, and then let's have a look at my joke. It won't be as good as Sally's. I have 1 square, 70% dark chocolate, salted caramel. Oh, you're too good. You're too good. Will Santa launch an online alternative to his usual delivery service? This is me telling a joke out of the Prezi that Diane gave me. So, will Santa launch an online alternative to his usual delivery service? So I'm just going to add a little bit of white again. And then I'm just going to smudge that. So just smudge it a little bit. That's 70%. Oh, you're all too good. Oh no, I'm really bad. I'm terrible. So I'm going to take an online alternative to his usual delivery service. He's toying with the idea. I like that one. He's toying with the idea. So it was, will Santa launch an online alternative to his usual delivery service? He's toying with the idea. It was made from the thin strands of real silver to reflect candlelight, a luxury for the wealthy. Oh, Marie, that's a bit of trivia. So I'm going to use my bleed proof white. That's a bit of trivia, Marie. So I'm going to use the bleed proof white. Let's put a little tiny bit. I've actually got a jar of water. Can you believe it? So what I'm going to do now, I think, let me just dry this first, which I forgot. Let me just dry this. I love that the craft card doesn't break down. So it's wonderful. So I'm going to just add a little bit more of my darker colour, just coming around here and coming into the dark here. So just, yeah, I try to only have 1 square of dark chocolate. Oh, good grief, you put me to shit. Just no chance. There's no chance I could just eat 1 and then that's it. So I'm just coming in with that dark brown. I was just reminiscing about the beautiful herb garden I had when I was growing up. Good times. So what I'm going to add a little bit of white. It's not watery enough, so let's grab a little bit more water. I do drink a lot of Negroni. What is Negroni? I don't know what Negroni is. Again, you're showing me up. I don't know what Negroni is. So I'm using the bleed proof white, and I'm just going to add a few little a few little white touches just to my bell, just so it's got a few little white highlights. Dimension. And the white highlights just bring that to life a little bit more. Is Negroni liqueur? Oh, I don't know. I'm saving myself for Christmas, but not sure I'll make it. The chocolate keeps calling me. How do astronomers organise a party? They plan it. Oh. That's terrible. Just terrible. So can you see I'm just touching this with a little bit of white just to make it a little bit more dimensional. So I'm going to add a little to the bell here. And I'm not going to add anything here because this is going to be covered up. Campari, vermouth and gin. No mixers. It hits the spot. Oh, now you sound like James Bond. You sound like James Bond now. Right. So first of all now I'm going to, let's move these out of the way. It's simple. It's just because I'm waffling. So I'm going to take my favourite berries stamp. So let's take the berries. What have I dropped on the floor? You sound like James Bond. It does sound lethal, doesn't it? So I'm going to take the berries, and I've got a little mask for my bell. So I've got the mask and I'm going to place that over the top. And this would be really easy to work with. And I'm going to, best thing about Switzerland, I don't know, but the flag is a box of frogs. So I'm going to take the ground espresso again. So let's take that ground espresso. And I've got my mask in place, and I'm going to add some of these berries just here. So I've got that mask in place, so that works really nicely. Campari. I used to like... Helen's put, I used to like Can Park and bitter lemon, and it's meant to be Campari. Helen's getting as good as me and Anne. I was thinking, I've never heard of the drink Can Park. Can Park. So you can see I've got some berries on there. And you could keep them that colour if you wished. And I'm going to keep the mask in place. It is, I'm a teacher, I need it sometimes. Oh, if I was a teacher, I'd need something really strong. Hence, I'm not a teacher. So let's just... So this is using the little ground espresso. And I'm going to add a few more of the berries. So look, where are we going to add that? Let's add that around about there. So I'm adding a few more of those berries with the ground espresso distress oxide. So just adding that. There we go. And you can see, if we remove that, you can see how that is looking. And it looks lovely with the berries, which I'm going to colour in a little bit of red. So let me just clean the berries. You're a teacher today. Oh yes, I suppose that's, or big children even. So I've got a lovely berries there. Do I want to add? I'm playing around now. So yes. So I'm going to take a little bit of ground espresso, and I'm just going to add a couple more berries. So it's that one there. Espresso. And because it's just a little ink pad, I can aim my ink really easily. So I'm going to just wipe the areas I don't want. So I'm just wiping the area, a couple more. I'm going to, let's attach it there. And I'm talking to my card. So I'm just adding a couple more berries. There we go. So that gives me my composition, which is really easy. How does the moon cut his hair? he clips it. That's clever. That's clever. I'd have no hope with 10 to 11-year-olds, although I did used to do workshops with children that age. We did have some fun. Colour, and have it for a mail card as well, if you wanted to do something a little bit different. So I'm just going to give this a dry, and then I'm going to dry. Yeah, she's on a roll, isn't she, Nita? Hello, Nita. This card is solid. There's just nothing going through. So I'm going to take some red pencils, and I'm going to add some red to the berries. So I'm going to use Crimson Lake 925. So I'm going to use Crimson Lake 925. And because it's got that dark base with the ground espresso, which is exactly what I'm looking for. So I'm just adding a tinge of red, just so that you can see that. And then it just gives a little pop of colour. So that was Crimson Lake, 925. Then I'm going to use Crimson Red 924. Just add a little bit of the 924. And you don't really have to add much colour. There we go. Let's just add a little. I think I've actually missed that one. So let's add Crimson Red 924. So let's add a little bit of the Crimson Red. And I love how it looks on the gold background, because it just makes it look a little bit different. And then for my pale colour, I'm using Scarlet Red 9 Attractor. I have to say, you and Sally, they are brill. You're on a roll. So 923, they are brilliant. I'm definitely going to have a look at the screenshots that Diane puts up, because these are brilliant. So I'm now just using that Scarlet Lake 923 grown. I think that's really good. So I'm just adding a little bit of the paler colour, and you're just adding a touch of that red. And there's not much to add to this now, just a little bit to add to this. So I'm going to take my bleed proof white again. Thanks, Diane. So I'm going to take the bleed proof white again, and then I'm just going to add a little dot to my berries, just so that they stand out just a little bit more, just so they're not flat. What do you call it when a group of apes starts a company? Monkey business. Oh, that's a groan. Oh, monkey business. Oh. So I'm now going to add a little bit of white just to the branches as well, just so that it stands out just a little bit more. I think that man sort of role in life. We weren't afraid of being shown up in front of classmates if we didn't behave. Oh, I was a chatterbox. Now, you can't imagine that, can you? You can't imagine me being a chatterbox at all. I've been here since the start, but only just noticed I hadn't pressed send. Jeez. Angela, that is something that I would do. So Angela's been here since the start, but she didn't press send. that is definitely something I would do. And Anne have found a new role for telling jokes. They actually could be comedians. So let's just add this white. It just makes everything pop a little bit. So let's just, there we go. So let's just add a little bit more there. And if you can see that, it really lifts that design. I wanted to buy a pair of camouflage pants, but I couldn't find any. Is that no surprise there, Maureen? My report will read, oh, I've just knocked the camera. She will go far. Mine was if Tracy spent more time not chatting and actually concentrating, something like that. So we've got the lovely white on there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the holly, the little holly leaves on here that's on TE21. So take the holly leaves. Now this is quite a simple card to do. The only reason it takes longer is because I'm yakking. So it's not a difficult card at all. So I'm going to add a little bit of holly now. So I'm going to grab a spare piece of white card. Thank you, Cheryl. It's just lovely. We'll add a bit of shading as well. So I'm going to add the I can't speak. I've lost my tiny holly leaf. No, no. This sounds a bit like mine. So I'm going to use Verdant. So I'm adding a touch of Verdant. Then a touch of Portobello. And then I'm going to stamp that onto my card. So again, oh, thank you, Sue. I'm going to take a little bit of Portobello, just a little tiny bit of Portobello, just to stamp 2 holly leaves, and we'll actually cut those out. A fortune teller. Oh, good grief. I've lost a tiny beard stamp from last year's Christmas workshop. Oh, good grief. Oh. And I'm just using the Pergamano scissors. And if I move the card rather than my hand, it just means the cutting out is a lot more simplified. So let's cut the holly out. Our wedding was so beautiful, even the cake was in tears. Oh, oh. I'm just going to be doing these all day at the table, and my relatives and nephews and nieces will just be groaning at me the whole day, and then I'll just say it's Sally and Amanda's fault. So I'm just going to colour the edges of these. I try to keep everything on my desk. I'm just going to use, there we go, because that ink pad's a little bit juicy. So I'll just use my finger. Oh, see, Maureen likes that one about the wedding cake. So I'm just using my finger just so I can get right into the crevices of the holly leaf, just to add that. Where are you getting these jokes from? They're actually not all bad tonight. They're not, are they, Marie? They're quite good, aren't they? They are quite good. So I'm going to add the holly. So let me just grab my adhesive. I know, they're great, aren't they, Angela? It's just a bit of fun. It's great fun. So I'm going to take the holly leaf, and then I need to get a little bit of a blending brush. Must be with the odd socks. So I'm just going to add a little bit of green at the back, just so that it's not quite so, and I'm down here off camera. I'm just going to add a little bit of green, just so that it's not quite so white. And then I'm just going to pick these up, and then I'll just use my scissors and just bend that over my scissors a little bit, just so there's a little bit of life to them. Why do bees have sticky hair? Because they use a honeycomb. Oh, that's brilliant. That's really good. So that they've got some dimension, I'm just going to put the adhesive down the centre of the holly leaf. When I get to add the holly leaf, so let's just add a little bit of adhesive just down the centre, like so, just so that we have got the, oh, thank you, Trudy. So we're just going to add holly leaves. Oh, and Kay's here now. What we used to call 10 pints of lager jokes, because you had to drink 10 pints to find them funny. Yeah. Now you're going to think I'm start raving mad now, but I want 2 berries. So I'm going to, let's move that holly. And I'm actually going to cut 2 berries out. I know most of you'll think I'm start raving mad, but I'm going to do it. I know, it's clever, isn't it? Honeycomb. Amanda's on a roll now, you know. She's loving this. She's loving it. So let's take... What do you call an angry musician playing someone off? A songbird. Yes, she's loving it. Can you tell? A songbird. So I'm just adding the berries here. They could be cherries. What do you call a can opener that doesn't work? I can't open it. These are quite good. So I'm just going to colour a couple of these berries, just in the same way as I did before. And I'm actually going to attempt to cut these out. Just so I've got 2 berries just stuck out. There's nothing wrong with the fussy cutting berries. Most of them will think I'm mad, Rebecca, because I'm going to fussy cut these tiny berries. They will, honestly. They'll think I'm stark raving mad. So I'll worry about the white afterwards. And I'll add a little bit of dark as well afterwards as well. What colour's that? I'm going to cut these out. Just a tiny wee little border. Because I just want to, like, how can you tell it's a dogwood tree? By the bark. Oh. Yes, you need 20 pints for that one. It's just grown worthy. So yes, I am cutting out little berries because I desperately want some berries at the top. So I'm just cut, there we go. So I just wanted to cut those little berries out. And then I'm going to add a little bit I'm going to add a little bit of adhesive just at the top here, because I don't want the berries themselves to be stuck down. I just want the berries to be a little bit. There we go. So we'll just give that a little bit of time, because I do want to add a little bit more darkness to it. I have a fear of speed bumps, but I'm slowly getting over it. Oh dear, 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 dear. That is just terrible. Just terrible. Let me just hold that down, just so I can add a little bit. And then let's just pick them up again. There we go. Too fiddly for me. You don't have to cut out the berries. You can just leave that. You don't have to cut out the berries at all. You really don't have to cut them out. So then I'm going to take, let's put the berries back. Don't forget, you don't have to cut them out at all. I'm then going to take the little bird from TE44. So it's all from TE44. And I'm going to ink this up in Portobello because I don't want it in the black. These are Pergamano scissors. I couldn't live without them. I've used them for over 20 years. And I'm going to use the Portobello and I'm going to add my little bird just down here. So you're very welcome, Wendy. Thank you very much. And then I'm just going to give him a little bit of grounding, preferably in a brown. So let's just give a little bit of grounding. I would be stamping them and using glossy accents, exactly. Or you can use clear embossing powder if you wish, if you haven't got the glossy accents. Or you can simply just take a little bit of clear translucent texture paste and add that on the top, which I'm going to do a little bit of afterwards. But I just want, where's the black? Where's my black pen? What did Amanda say? I've been thinking, I have a lot of jokes about unemployed people, but none of them work. Oh, God. Oh. Why do I always pick a pen that doesn't work? Or it's got something on it, or something like that. There we go, just so that we can see that a little bit more. Let's use the dark brown. Nearly not moved. Do you know, I know why I don't put water. Thank you very much, Cheryl. But what I can do now is, because I've got no glossy accents, so it's not going to be, you know, domed or anything, but I can use a little, let me just clean my paintbrush as well. I'm a great tumbler. I'm a great fumbler when it comes to fussy cutting. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to pick up a little bit of the translucent texture paste. And if I add a little bit of that, it'll give it a little bit of a sheen. And because I haven't got glossy accents, it can pretend to be that. So if I add the translucent little bit of a sheen when the recipient receives it. Fussy cutting calms me down as well, Sheila. Totally agree. If I've got my mind on that, I forget everything else. That's exactly the same for me. Now I want to add a sentiment, and the sentiment is from the Holly and Berries. So it's with warmest wishes. So I'm going to use that as my sentiment. Hopefully we've got enough card here. Let's take that little bird. Thank you, Sue. Again, you can always pare it back and have kept it all brown. You know, you've got lots of different ideas that you could play around with there. So I'm going to take the Portobello. I love the dimension the Hollies and Berries give. Thanks, Sue. Yes, if I'm ever anxious, Sheila, if I go and do some fussy cutting, I soon forget, and it really does help. So with warmest wishes from Holly and Berries with Portobello. And as always, I've got to stand up and reach my scissors without knocking everything over. Well done, Amanda. Why is it well done, Amanda? Dogs can't operate MRI machines, but cats can. Oh, can you make out, you know, can you do some silly ones and not make out you're so clever? So that then I look clever. But these are quite good. So I'm just going to cut this down like so. And then before I put this on, I'm just going to add some white splatters. Thank you, Chris. Thank you. So we've got with warmest wishes. But before I do that, we'll add some... Oh, it's there. What do you call a cleaning skeleton? The Grim Sweeper. what do you call a cleaning skeleton? The Grim Sweeper. I cheat and get Heather to do my fussy cutting. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. So I'm just going to add a few little spatters. And then I'm going to add with Warmest Wishes. So let's just take. And the matting and layering is going to make a difference. Whenever I cut out a sentiment like you've just done, it ends up, just embrace it. I just embrace it. So with Warmest Wishes, let's just, now this won't stick down. Let me just stick that down. So just give it a few moments to stick down. There we go. And don't get me started on my Posca splattering disasters. Bleed proof white and do it very gentle with your fan brush. So what I'm going to do then is add this to a piece of 4 1/4 by 6 1/4 white card. I lost my job at the bank on my first day. A woman asked me to check her balance, so I pushed her over. Oh, you're very welcome, Helen. So let's add this to a piece of white card. And I think the matting and layering makes a big difference as well, because I'm going to add an extra mat and layer to this. So let's just make sure that we've got that. If at first you don't succeed, then skydiving is not for you. Definitely not. Then I'm going to add that to a piece of craft card, 4 1/2. Going to add that to another piece of craft card, 4 1/2 by 6 1/2. Thank you very much, Diane. I just bought a belt the other day. It was a waste of money. It was a waste of money. Oh. These are clever jokes, these are. So I'm just adding that, giving this an extra mat, just so it looks a lot more, you know, it gives it a little bit more dimension. I'm then going to add this to a white card blank. So let's add this to a white card. And the white card blank is 5 by 7. There we go. Let's add that to a 5 by 7. I need to draw a winner for a £20 code for the shop as well. Oh, thank you, Trudy. I did that, but then you can see the card just a little bit more, and then all we need to do is just add a little bit of shading. So let's add a little bit of shading just around the bell here. So we'll just give this a little bit of shading. Thank you, Alison. So we'll just take, oh, thank you, Chris. So I'm just going to sort of touch the shading just around the bell, just to give it a little bit more. So it's just touched with a little bit of water. Thank you, Jan. Trying to think up different ideas just so that, let me just add a little bit more. You've got different ideas for your stamps. So let's just bring this a little bit darker just here, just so that it looks a little more. How big that pencil is. So I'm just adding a little bit of that Inktense pencil, just so it's a little bit darker. Just there as well, just so you can definitely see. Thank you, Diane. Because obviously with us being on for so many days, it's trying to give you, you've got lots of different ideas with your stamps. There we go. And that is your card finished. And if I can try and move it a little bit, you'll see it's a little bit glossy on these as well, just as it buffers. So I'm just going to, thank you, Helen. I'm going to draw a Winnie. Just bear with me now while I just go poof. And I can't even read it now. It's like, and the winner is Sheila Young. Sheila Young. If you message me, Sheila, I can give you a code for £20 in the shop. So it's Sheila Young. Oh, I love my dark grey Inktense pencil. As you can see, I've had that since COVID. You me so that you can see what we've done so far. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So let's have a look at the cards that we've done so far. Thank you, Kay. I just want, we did this card that's going to go to my sister-in-law. So we did that card where we created the embellishments and everything. And then we also did this one yesterday. Oh, you're very welcome, Sue. We did the cards. Then we did one that was non-Christmas. Then we did our poinsettia for Fiona. I love doing that one, making it look sort of a bit like vellum, even though it wasn't. Then we had one with the greens, with the Wellingtons. I love that. And then our first card was the bauble. Just so then you can see the little recap. And then if you've missed any videos, you know, then you can look out onto YouTube for any of the videos that you've maybe missed. And then this card is today's. So thank you very much, everybody. Thank you to Amanda and you ladies for your company. It's been wonderful. And I'll be back tomorrow at 7 o'clock. Amanda will be back at 4. We've had lovely Anne today. Anne has done a beautiful card again today. So you can find Anne's card in the group if you haven't seen it already. And we still have more inspiration for you tomorrow. So those of you that can make it, I will see you all tomorrow. So love to all. Bye. Bye, everyone.